Consider for a moment an ordinary sheet of paper. Today it seems entirely unremarkable. So familiar, in fact, that we rarely give it a second thought. Yet 6 centuries ago, every such sheet represented weeks of labor. An old linen shirt, river water, wooden hammers, the scent of damp air, and men and women whose names history has almost entirely forgotten. The story of paper is not merely the story of a craft. It is the story of how humanity learned to preserve knowledge, transmit ideas, and leave a record of itself for future generations. The story of human labor, often forgotten, yet woven into every page. Imagine a small workshop beside a river somewhere in 15th century France. Water murmurs beneath a wooden wheel. Heavy timber hammers rise and fall in a slow and steady rhythm, and the air carries the scent of wet linen. Upon long wooden tables lie old shirts, worn towels, and pieces of threadbare cloth. Within a few months, these humble scraps will become paper. Paper upon which letters will be written, contracts drawn, court records preserved, and books copied. Perhaps it was upon such paper that witnesses later recorded their memories of those who had once known Joan of Arc. Historians continue to debate the precise details of how papermaking spread beyond China. Yet by the 8th century, paper workshops had begun to appear across Central Asia. And from Samarkand, the craft continued its journey westward. It reached Baghdad, Damascus, Cairo, and other great cities of the medieval Islamic world. These were centers of learning, trade, administration, and science. Scholars required books, merchants required records, governments required documents. All of them required paper. Over the centuries, craftsmen refined the techniques of papermaking, producing sheets that were increasingly reliable and durable. Through Al-Andalus and Sicily, this knowledge gradually entered Europe. Italy became one of the principal centers of European papermaking. By the 13th century, the town of Fabriano was already renowned for its workshops. Craftsmen improved fiber preparation, developed more efficient water-powered machinery, and produced stronger sheets. By the time Joan of Arc was born in the early 15th century, paper mills operated across many parts of Europe. Yet every sheet remained the product of considerable labor. Before dawn, workers arrived at the mills. The air carried the scent of wet linen and river water. Water wheels turned steadily, driving heavy wooden hammers that pounded old cloth into fibers. For paper in medieval Europe was not made from wood. It began with rags. Old linen shirts, bed linen, towels, sacks, and worn sails were collected and sold to papermakers. These discarded textiles formed the foundation of the entire industry. The rags were sorted, washed, and left to soak in large vats. Over time, the fibers softened and began to separate. The process was slow, unpleasant, and often foul-smelling. The soaked cloth was then beaten into pulp. In larger workshops, river-powered machinery performed much of the work. Day after day, heavy hammers rose and fell until the fabric disappeared completely, transformed into a soft mass of fibers. Only then could the papermaker create a sheet. Standing beside a vat filled with water and pulp, he lowered a wooden mold fitted with a fine mesh screen. When he lifted it again, the water drained away, leaving a thin layer of interwoven fibers across the surface. The newly formed sheet was placed upon felt. Another followed, then another. Gradually, a stack accumulated and was transferred beneath a press, which removed much of the remaining water. The sheets were then hung to dry. Yet even at this stage, the work was not complete. Fresh paper absorbed ink too readily. To make it suitable for writing, the sheets were treated with a sizing solution, usually prepared from animal hides and bones. Only then was the paper ready for use. From the workshop, it traveled to merchants, notaries, universities, monasteries, and municipal offices. Some sheets remained close to their place of manufacture. Others journeyed onwards to cities such as Paris, Rouen, and Reims. Paper gradually became part of everyday European life. It carried contracts, accounts, correspondence, books, and official records. Although less expensive than parchment, it remained a valuable material. Every sheet represented days of labor and the work of many hands. Contrary to modern assumptions, medieval paper was not always bright white. Many sheets possessed natural tones of linen and ivory from the moment they were made. When we look at surviving documents today, we often assume that age alone has given them their color. Yet in many cases, we are seeing the same shades once seen by the papermaker nearly 6 centuries ago. Perhaps the most remarkable thing about paper is that each sheet began as something entirely ordinary: a shirt, a towel, a sail. Given water, time, and skilled hands, these humble objects were transformed into something far more enduring, capable of outliving those who created them. They became vessels of memory. Every surviving page still bears the imprint of hands whose names have vanished.
MERUTTA.com